Welcome back to the channel for another practice question to help me and you study for our instrument written exam. It says, you received the ATC clearance, cleared to the ABC Vortex, hold south on the 180 radial. What is the recommended procedure and entry for the holding pattern? Okay, so I have here some key information that we can pull from the question. For one, if they do not mention left turns, it is standard, and standard turns are always right turns. Also, we're going to make sure to hold south of the fix. And also, we're going to be flying the 180 radial, which is going to be our inbound leg for this holding pattern. The figure they've provided is figure 113. And the information we need to glean from that is we are on a course of 060. So that's what we're going to intercept the fix at. Right here, I've drawn a holding pattern. And you can see, compared to some of the other questions, we flipped the arrows here to represent right turns for a right turn holding pattern. See, if we were flying, we'd be turning to the right as we go around the racetrack. This gray X right here is going to represent our fix that we're going to intercept to enter this pattern. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and put some information on this racetrack for what radial we're going to fly. So this holding pattern might be a little complicated from the way I've drawn it because I'm not making it north up. It's just going to be kind of course up in a way. But we're just going to make sure we follow the numbers and check to make sure everything makes sense. So we're going to be on the 180 radial. And if this is going to be north up here and this is going to be south down here, you can see that this racetrack is south of the fix. And we're going to be on an inbound leg to the fix on the 180 radial. If we extend the line out the other direction, that's going to be 360. So now we'll add some more information. We want to draw a line that's 70 degrees into the pattern. So say 70 minus 180 and you get 110. And if we extend that line into the pattern and you're going to get to 90, this is your standard holding pattern tri-section that we've been showing, where you basically have this line that cuts into the holding pattern. So now that we have the holding pattern divided up into our 3 sections, let's go ahead and label those sections. Just like the other holding patterns that we've shown that had left turns, we're still going to have this divided into our 3 sections. You're going to have this little teardrop section, which is always going to be the smallest on the exterior of the pattern. You're going to have the parallel section, which covers a small portion of the pattern. And then the largest section is going to be the direct section. And if you want to just check things to make sure this always makes sense when you draw this, the direct is really going to be the largest area, pretty much if you're approaching the fix from about any direction from behind it, essentially. If you're flying in, you're approaching the fix head on, and you know you're going to need to turn around one way or the other, that's where you're going to get your parallel turns from this angle, or your teardrop turns from this angle down here. So where did it say that we were approaching from? Well, for that, we're going to look at our HSI. It says we're flying a course of 060. So that means we're going to be on the 240 radial of this fix. And how did I get that? Well, we're flying 060. You can remember that this is north right here. I've drawn this line here to basically show due east. So I should probably turn this arrow around the other way to make it make more sense. But east would be this direction, north would be this direction, and a 060 heading is going to be a northeast. So you can imagine this line pointing this direction in a northeast direction. You can think 360 for north, 030, 060, 090. So you know it's generally in this direction. So if we're flying on a course of 060, the section we're in, or if there was a radial coming off of this fix, if it was a VOR or something, we'd be on the 240 radial. And you know, if we're considering which radial we're on, if we're between the 110 and the 290 radial, this is going to be a direct entry, but also we can just see that we're in this giant section that's going to be direct. So I'm going to say the answer is going to be direct. So let's see. All right, direct only, answer B. One more question down, 500 to go.